Can you think your office life without Excel? Most of you will say no. Because Excel is nowadays, from last 25 to 30 years, is like a standard professional across the globe. All the organizations, most of the organizations are dependent on Excel to carry out their day-to-day business. So having Excel basic skills are like a mandatory requirement nowadays. If you know basic Excel skills, then the chances of your selection in an interview is more. And if you know advanced Excel skills, then the chances of getting a promotion soon will be more. So in this video, we will be covering top 5 interview questions about the Excel which your interviewer is going to ask you. So before you jump into your next interview, watch this video on how you can answer those 5 interview questions in your Excel. So let's get started. The interview questions depends on what job you are applying for. Some of them may require advanced Excel skills, some of them may require basic Excel skills. So let's look for the 5 interview questions of the Excel. Question number 1. What is a VLOOKUP function and what is its syntax, what is its limitations, and how you can overcome it? So here is the way you can answer this question. VLOOKUP stands for vertical lookup. And this function of Excel search for a certain value in a column in order to return a value from a different column in the same row. So let's take an example. I want the sale amount of product D. So the arguments of VLOOKUP would be the lookup value, which is my product D, comma, the table array. Table array is the range of data to look for. So this is the range of data I'm going to look for, comma, the number of the column which I want the return value from. So I want the return value from this column. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns in my table. So I want the 4th column to return the value, comma, it is asking for the exact match or approximate match. So by default it takes approximate match, but most of the times we want to use exact match, so you can write here false or 0, and then it will return you the sale amount of a product D. Alright, let's look for the limitations of VLOOKUP function. VLOOKUP looks up from left to right only, and it did not looks up from right to left. For example, if I want to see the sale amount of 25364, it is for which product, then I would not be able to use VLOOKUPs because it did not look up the value from right to left. The second limitation is it finds only the first match. For example, if I have 2 products D in this column, so it will return me the value of the first product which this formula has found. So it will return me this value but not this value. The third limitation is by default, like I said, it returns the approximate match, which is a common cause of wrong results. So you have to manually insert it. You have to tell VLOOKUP that you have to look for the exact match and not the approximate match. The fourth limitation of VLOOKUP is if you will insert any column in between, then it will change your formula here. You need to change your formula from 4 to 5 because now your column is jumped into the 5th column of your data range. So this is the limitation of VLOOKUP. To avoid these limitations or to overcome these limitations, we can use index and match functions in the Excel. But if you are using Office 365, then you are lucky and you have a brand new function, XLOOKUP, to look up for the values which will say a goodbye to VLOOKUP and index and match, all the lookup functions. So if you are telling these names to your interviewer, the index, match and XLOOKUP, then you must be aware of these 3 functions as well, because your interviewer might ask you the cross questions about these 3 functions. Question number 2. What is a pivot table and when would you use it? So here is the way you can answer this question. In data analysis, pivot table is one of the most widely used feature in Excel. With pivot table, you can quickly summarize what your data set is talking about. So you can tell the story behind the numbers. So let's have a quick look towards the pivot table, how it looks like. So you can quickly summarize large quantity of data with the different attributes. It gives you quick insight about your data, and you have so many options to analyze. You can see when you click on this value field settings, you can sum, count, average, max, mean. There are so many predefined functions, and here you do not need to write any formula to calculate your data and to present a report for your data. So we have predefined functionalities, and it is very user friendly, and you can easily drag and drop the attributes from here like this. Question number 3. How does absolute reference differs from relative cell reference? It is asked to check the understanding of writing formulas in Excel. So here is what you can say. Instead of providing hard-coded values in the formulas, we can give cell references to make it dynamic. Hard-coded values, for example, equal to 10 plus 20. And cell references is like equal to A1 plus B1. So instead of providing hard-coded values, we can provide cell references to make it dynamic. By default, Excel uses relative cell reference. So if I drag this formula down, you can see that A1 B1 is automatically changes to A2 B2, then A3 B3. So Excel uses relative cell referencing. For the absolute cell reference, you need a dollar sign. Absolute means you want to fix the row or fix the column. For example, if I want to fix the column A here, I will put a dollar sign in front of A, and if I want to fix row, I will put the dollar sign in front of row. So you can apply it to row or column or both. I'm pressing enter and then drag this formula. You can see that the reference of A1 remains the same, and the column and the row number is going to change for the column B. So it is A1 B1 and then A1 B2, A1 B3. So this is the difference between the absolute and relative cell reference. Question number 4. What is conditional formatting? So here is what you can say. Conditional formatting allows you to format the cells based on some logic, and it is usually used to highlight the important information in your report. For example, in this data, I want to see the difference between my target and actual sale. So I will get it by subtracting both the values. And I have some positive numbers, some negative numbers. If I want to highlight these negative numbers in red, I can use conditional formatting, and then for less than 0, it will highlight in red color. And conditional formatting goes beyond cell formatting. You can add icons and data bars like this. I will go for conditional formatting and then data bars, and again I am subtracting my target and actual value, and it will give you the data visualization in the form of bar. Question number 5. When would you use if or nested if function? So this is how you can answer. If a function is one of the most popular function in Excel. It allows you to make logical comparisons between a value and what you expect. So it includes a test and 2 outcomes. So you can see the syntax. The arguments are you will go for the logical test, and then there are 2 outcomes. What if your logical test is true, and what if your logical test is false? So here I am checking if my difference between the target and actual sale, which is this, is greater than, let's say, 50, then I will say that it is a good sale, else it will be a bad sale. So this is how you can get the result. Nested if is used when you have more than one condition. So here I have only one condition to check for, and if I have more than one condition, for example, I want to check for store A only, then I can use this formula. If my B2 is store A and if F2 is greater than 50, then I will go for good or bad. Else, if it is not store A, it will return not store A for me. So this is how if and nested if function works. For Excel 2016 or above, we have one more function, if s. So instead of nested if, we can use if s function, which is much easier to read than nested if. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. Please share your interview questions about Excel in the comment section. All the very best for your interview, and stay healthy, stay safe, and happy learning. Bye bye and see you in the next video.